So, to recap what we've covered today, the LLC offers the best approach to cottage planning where you have shared ownership. There's no single right solution for every family, and I've had more families contact me and say, well, just send me the form and I'll fill in the blanks. Well, it's not that simple. There is no one right solution for every family. Don't strive for perfection. I inherited a project from a predecessor who had been working on a cottage plan with a single family for several years. I inherited that plan in 2007, and it isn't quite done yet. And every 6 months, I send a little follow-up note to the family saying, you haven't finished it, it isn't done, you don't have the benefits of this. What does it take to get it finished so that we can have the plan implemented? And I get different excuses. I think there's something else going on within the family dynamic that's preventing this from happening, because they have one paragraph that they have not yet reached consensus on. And it's mom and dad that own the whole thing. And so it's either striving for perfection or there's some other dynamic at work that is preventing them from completing the task. Don't expect miracles. Really, this is designed to deal with the cottage ownership of the property itself. It's not designed to solve all family dynamic issues. And sometimes I feel like I'm more of a family counselor than I am an attorney, because every family has dynamic issues. But what I find is that when mom and dad are gone, the single most common point of contact for the family members oftentimes is the vacation property. And if mom and dad are wise enough to put a plan in place to eliminate or to regulate or to administer or to deal with these issues that are apt to cause conflict, they have done a great service to the kids in removing what can be the single largest source of conflict after mom and dad are gone. So it's just a wonderful way of minimizing the amount of conflict for the next generation. Don't plan for too many generations. I have a regular process that I use that includes certain forms that I send to clients when we start working on a cottage project. And some families take a look at that and they say, oh, that's way too complicated. And I say, all right, back up a generation. Don't worry about what your grandchildren want. What do your children want? How do you want to deal? How do you want to structure this for your kids? And so it's more important to deal with the next generation and deal with that effectively than it is to try to craft a plan that will cover all generations going forward. A reasonable plan is better than no plan at all. If there are issues that people can't come to grips with, then take them out of the agreement and write an agreement that has the things that you can agree on. But it's important to get a plan in place, because the more things you can cover, the more conflict you can avoid at the next generation. Okay, all of the subjects that I've talked about today are covered in this book. This is the third edition of Saving the Family Cottage. It was originally written by Stuart Hollander, who was the attorney in Suttons Bay that wrote the first edition. He unfortunately published it in 2007, in July of 2007, and 6 weeks later he died of a heart attack. And so the book itself is an extremely well-written book, and I can say that because I didn't write the first edition. And it will, I think, help many, many families deal with a lot of these issues. It doesn't write a plan for you, but it talks about the various subjects that we've covered today in a little more detail.